The morning after a long drive home from vacation, and my swimming pool looks as green as my grass. Fun. So I've been backwashing. We're going to reload some water and then we'll do some treatments. Grass is looking pretty good though. Oh, camera lens is a bit dirty. We'll investigate this later. I don't feel like this right now. Goeiemiddag mense, and Happy New Year. I wish each and every one of you a very lekker 2023. Alright, so that's how my lawn's looking after having been away for 2 weeks. The beds are looking pretty bad, but because I looked after the lawn before I went away, it's looking quite nice right now, just full of some junk. So just by making sure that I mowed the lawn before going away, I've saved myself quite a lot of hassle by the looks of it. So I've been trying to plan a little bit of a channel reset for the last little while now, and well, there's no better time to do that than right now. So I plan on doing a little bit less vloggy style type content and move over to a bit more of a structured content approach. It'll still be sort of vloggy, I'll still be chatting in the videos, but there'll be a plan for the videos is what I mean. So let's start with what I'm going to do for my lawn in January. Right, so what I'm about to get started with after having come home from vacation is exactly the same thing that anybody who's just getting into lawn care would do in the first place anyway. Is to have a look for any physical obstructions, like these branches back here, investigate and see if you can identify what grass type you have and if you've got any weeds in between that. The next thing you do is check for any sort of discoloration, any physical damage, and how long your grass is. So yes, you have to get out a ruler and measure how tall your grass is so that you can determine what height of cut you need to set up for later on. As you can tell, I've got this branch in the way, but there are a couple of others that are lying around the yard. So I assume what happened is they fell out of this tree, which was pruned very badly. That's why these branches keep breaking, because these aren't branches, they are water sprouts. So they broke from where the tree was incorrectly trimmed some time back. The water sprout formed. It looks like upside down roots, and those guys are very weak and they just keep falling out of the tree. So don't trim trees poorly, do it the right way. It'll save you a lot of hassle later on. Anyway, some of these sticks the dogs have carted around the yard, they're all over the place. I've got some landmines everywhere, dog toys and so on, so I'm just going to get that cleaned up quick. Now unfortunately I've also picked up some mallows, some oxalis, so that's also on the list. Now oxalis is that weed in your lawn that looks like clover, but it's not clover. It is a type of sorrel. Oh, that dog is trying to eat me at the same time as talking to you. And when these guys, like that, produce a little yellow flower, each of those flowers have about 50 seeds on them, and they will fall off the leaf the minute that flower is up. So you can see this one's already starting to wilt, which means that those seeds are laying on the surface here somewhere. They're going to get watered in, and when the time is right, it's going to germinate like what it has here. So yeah, that's on my list. Alright, you would also notice that there's a little bit of like an unevenness about the lawn. Now this is an indication that you need to fertilize, usually, but in my case, I pick up a little bit of patchiness. And that patchiness is a concern. It could just be dogs scratching around and doing their thing, but I get the feeling that there may be an insect issue over here. It's not a disease issue. It could just be from that scalp that I did some time back. Maybe it's just some damage that's still hanging around. But I get the feeling that maybe I've got an insect issue over here. So we'll do the soap test for that. Although this time of the year, midsummer, it may be something like army worm. I'm hearing a cricket, so I'm hoping it's not a mole cricket. Could be anything. But army worms are usually a thing around now anyway. So we'll do that soap test and see what might pop up. So the soap test is just a bit of dishwashing liquid, quite a good squeeze. Get some water in there, mix it up good. And then we're just gonna chuck this guy over. So a big old dollop all in one go, and let's see what happens. Okay, so as usual, there I've got a thrip. Lots of them can be an issue, but one is not an issue. And these seed heads that you see popping up over here, that's not Kikuyu, that is Bermuda. It's also not another type of weed. One spider. Just try another area if you're not 100% sure. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that guy right there. There he is there. That is just a plain old lawn caterpillar. Quite small. Very well, maybe the reason for this. It's quite possible. but they're not difficult to get rid of. A bit of cypermethrin and they say good night. Alright, so one lonely little lawn caterpillar doesn't really dictate an issue for me. It means though that I must keep an eye on things, but I'm not going to put down an insecticide. If you watch my channel in the past, you'll know that I don't like to just put down any insecticides willy-nilly, so I'm just not going to again. And if by keeping an eye on things I pick up that there's an issue later on, I will then address the problem with something a little more potent. Right, so I've moved the physical obstructions, I've checked for damage, I've found some weeds, maybe an insect issue, but not really a concern. I don't see any sort of yellowing except for where this branch was, so I don't believe that I have a disease. Well, the lawn. Next step is mow the lawn. Now, mowing doesn't just mean pull out your mower, set it down nice and low and just start mowing. You've got to go measure the height that your lawn is already at. Let's assume it's 30 millimeters. You're going to take off 1/3, i.e. the 1/3 rule, and then that means that you're going to be mowing at about 20 mils, so that when you mow, you don't discolor or damage the lawn in any way. Only if you have a massive thatch issue and you've got something like a Goeiemore or Bermuda, then you can clap it low, which I suggest, because it is the middle of the growing season. Just hit it and go for gold. If it's not a big issue and it's just maintenance, apply the 1/3 rule. Alright, so I didn't exactly practice what I preach and abide by the 1/3 rule. I have severely broken it, and because of that I've got some of this effect going on. But you know, so what? It'll grow back. But you know, if I'm going to stick to my guns on something, it's going to be that if you're going to scalp, you should do it properly. I don't really want to scalp, so I'm just going to mow a second time instead. You know what, even though that's lightly scalped, that's still quite alright. 13 mils, pretty true. I think it's sitting at about 15-ish. I was barely taking anything off on that second pass. And that's it from the other side. Nice and tight. Now that I've mowed, I'm going to wait 3 days before applying my herbicide. I'm going to use some fancy stuff, but to get rid of oxalis in your Goeiemore or Bermuda, in fact most broadleaf weeds, can be handled by a product called Super Lawn Weeder, and you can get it at just about any garden center in South Africa. And just go get yourself some of that, read the instructions and apply. So that's mow, wait 3 days so the weeds can stick their heads out above the grass, then apply the herbicide, and then you leave it alone again for another day or two without watering it and without mowing, so that herbicide can be absorbed by the weed, good efficacy, kill the weed, and then you can mow and water again after that. I should probably reiterate, you will kill the majority of the weeds, but you won't get rid of them that easily, especially not something like oxalis, which drops lots of seeds. The seeds aren't killed by the herbicide. The herbicide's a post-emergent herbicide. Only pre-emergent herbicides will kill weeds, the seed, as they try and germinate. So whenever you're applying a post-emergent herbicide, you must realize that you don't kill everything for good in one shot. It's just weed control. It's not weed eradication. And now we're going to apply my mid-summer recommended fert according to my lawn care calendar on the website, which is Novotec Premium. It's a 15-3-20. Incidentally, it's going to help out with the herbicide application as well, which is generally a recommendation when applying herbicides. Put down some ammonium sulfate at least beforehand, just to try and boost the grass and help improve the efficacy of the product by causing the weed to want to grow a little bit more, and then it absorbs the product that is sitting on it quicker. So it kills the weed faster and helps the grass outgrow the stress of the herbicide. So let's get some fertilizer down. Okay, so here we've got the Novotec Premium. I've got 2 kilograms in here, my little checkers spreader. 2 kilograms per 100 square meters is the application rate. So I'm going to refill this little guy up over here 3 times to do this top part of my lawn over here. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a 15-3-20, 15% being the nitrogen. That's the most important thing for lawn. Your grasses, a little bit of phosphorus because the lawn is already established. It is not a seed. It does not need lots of phosphorus. And remember that phosphorus accumulates in the soil. And if you keep building up phosphorus in your soil, eventually you'll get to a point where you kill your grass. And then the potassium is the 20s, the highest value right now for this mid-summer, beginning of January feed. That is going to help not just for what potassium is mostly known for, is all-round plant well-being, or maybe for the guys who like flowers, it means that it's going to help relieve the stress from plants trying to flower. This is also going to help with heat stress, and more particularly with water transpiration in the plant. So it's water movement from the root to the tippy tops of the leaf and back down again. So let's get that put out. Now I just need to water that in. Might even rain just now, so let's give it an hour or two and I'll see if Mother Nature takes care of that for me. Alright, that's it. Easy peasy. January lawn care stuff done. Fertilizers are down. The lawn has been mowed. I'm going to do a weed control video next. Maybe if I end up with a pest issue, there'll be a pest control video. In this circumstance, it may be some lawn caterpillars. Hopefully never again mole crickets, those evil scum. That's really it. I plan on making my lawn care scenario very easy this year. So I think whoever's watching this, if you're as lazy as me, you're going to enjoy what's coming. So we've done a fert application now. The next one will be in March. The next one will be 2 months after that, if I feel like it. And that's basically it. Mow, water, fert. I'm going to try and stick to all those basics. Anyway, don't forget that I've got my 1,000 subscriber giveaway coming up. I've posted on Facebook and Instagram the details to that. I've got 2 more prizes lined up besides the Kikuyu Guru lawn leveler that's already at the top of that pot, that pool. What do you call it? The list of prizes. I'm going to accumulate some more goodies there. As I said, there's already 2 added. I'm adding some more stuff to it, and I'm trying to get some sponsors to give us some stuff as well. They get a little bit of ad time, and you get some free stuff, and then we'll get it to you so long as you're in South Africa. I'm not shipping this over the border, sorry. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope to see more of you guys during the course of 2023. If you have any questions and queries, jump onto backyardbushveld.co.za. Remember to like this, subscribe, share this with your buddies, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.